Hi everyone, it's your weekly forecast from the 15th of February till the 21st. So this is a big week. This is probably one of the most important weeks of 2021 because we have got the Saturn and Uranus square happening. I've already made a video about it, but I am going to be giving a little bit of a summary today as well. So the week is going to be starting with a Mercury conjunction to Jupiter. And this is actually a beautiful conjunction. It can bring us good news. We can be receiving information you have been waiting on for a while. But of course, we need to remember that Mercury is a retrograde, and there is always a little bit of a catch with Mercury retrograde. So maybe not all the information is at hand, or not everything is going to arrive at the same time. So there is always a little bit of a frustration and delay with retrograde periods. Maybe you have to wait a little bit longer than you expected, but this is usually a very much of a happy frame of mind. It is actually very ideal to start a new course, which you have had an eye on for a while. Not necessarily good to start something which you have just seen now, but if this is something you have had a desire about for a long time, then yeah, go ahead and start that course. Your way of thinking could be very enthusiastic today. We can be a lot more positive than usual. And actually, this is a perfect day to transform your thoughts into something positive or being more optimistic about them. So if you feel that you had all these negative thoughts which held you back, then it might be a good day to try to replace those. You might have got plenty of ideas, and probably you need to write them down because we can have plenty, and with Mercury retrograde, we can easily forget about them. This day is also favorable for business deals, especially if they have been going on for a while, but ensure that you read the contract in details, including the small print as well. By the way, this is the second hit out of the three hits they are going to have. So the first one was on the 11th of January, and the last one will be on the 5th of March. Now, the second hit is always about a reminder to revisit something. So we might have started something around the 11th of January. We haven't finished yet. So it's a brilliant day to go back and then finish it off, revising it, maybe making some spelling or grammar checks of whatever we were writing down and so forth. Also, it might be talking about a project which is halfway through. So it is very much talking about, okay, let's go back and then let's see if the foundation is correct. Maybe if you had an exam and then you didn't pass, then it indicates that this is a perfect day to study because your brain can catch the information a lot easier. Now, at the same time, this day we also have got a Mercury square Black Moon Lilith. Now, this is the perfect time to actually grab the opportunity to speak about Lilith. I am fascinated by Lilith. We're talking about actually a fictitious point in the chart. She is the pair of the moon, and it displays the dark part of hers, somehow in the shadow for us. So Lilith reflects the fearsome side of ours. It might show us why we might not be happy, and it can be very conscious and subconscious as well. So I will be holding a webinar on anti-seer and contra anti-seer, and that is very much about also what is going on behind the scene. So if you really want to know your psychological map in depth, I recommend signing up for my course. So the Black Moon Lilith is a female demon. She was the first wife of Adam. She is classified as seductively dangerous, who posed a threat to men at night. And its position in our horoscope is kind of a blind spot. Imagine it as an invisible wallpaper, a gateway between our lower and upper world. So Lilith is giving you information about why you have got intense feelings, what type of crisis situation you might need to go through. She is ruling over surgeries, death, and injuries as well. Lilith has got this Plutonian energy to it. So it's very much about the taboos, very much indicates family traumas in the chart. It could show from the Neptunian side of Lilith what area of life we might want to be escaping from. What situations do we live in with no reception or oppression, resentment, outward anger, rejection, and trying to escape from those at any cost. It also shows the area of life where we might risk everything and we become extremely rebellious about it. But I believe the most important role of hers is to show where we can turn our helpless, frustrated rage into productive and creative energy. Usually the area of life where Lilith is placed is an underdeveloped area. So we're gonna have to work on that. Now, we've got this Mercurian square to it. So Mercury is all about spotting patterns. So you might be able to spot why you are not able to speak about some of your taboos, for instance. Or you might gain a little bit of an insight into some of the family traumas you went through. You might want to actually be a little bit alone, dealing with your own thoughts. But also Lilith has got this very intense sexual energy to it as well. So you might be noticing that you are unable to concentrate because you've got a very strong sexual desire going on. And I think it's no issue with that. And the star of the week is basically the Saturn-Uranus square, which is going to be taking place on the 17th of February. So we've got a little bit of a busy day on the 14th, a little bit of a rest on the 15th, 16th, and then 17th, everything kicks off. So the Saturn-Uranus square is going to be with us till 21st of December 2022. This is going to be the very first hit out of 5 hits. So 5 is extremely extended. So we're definitely going to be experiencing some of the descriptions I'm going to be making about this aspect. I've already made a video about this in length, so I recommend checking that up on my YouTube channel, but I'm going to put it in the comment box below as well. So you will be able to gain more insight. I think it's a 55-minute video, and today we were not going to have as much time to do that. Now, the very first hit is going to last for about 2-3 weeks, but as I said, it's going to be marking the entire year. And Saturn is the planet of foundation, and Uranus is all about shifts, which are happening unexpectedly. So this aspect somehow carries an element of surprise and changes within itself. It might bring some type of unusual events, especially in the governmental and political world. We're talking about a steady versus an unsteady energy. So with Uranus, anything can really happen. Saturn is the planet of past, and Uranus is all about breaking away. So it very much looks like we're gonna have to give up on certain things in order for us to move forward. But this is a very much of an invitation to do things differently. It is very much about adjusting your behavior and habits to the rules which might be popping up. But it is the aspect of breaking patterns. So if I had to depict this in a picture, I would have a stone where there is the thunderstorm or the lightning somehow striked into, and that stone is falling apart. So something which is rock solid and rock hard, but it needs to gain a different shape and form at the moment. By the way, the Saturn-Uranian aspect is very much connected to Prometheus, who stole the fire from the gods and became rebellious about it because he wanted to have the humankind. So that lightning type of energy very much talks about turning the lights on. So that's where the meaning of Uranus, of the awakening, intellectual and spiritual awakening, come from. So this is the planet of knowledge, scientific wisdom, as well as breakdown, breakthroughs. So it indicates that some of the information needs to be broken into little segments and then being revised that way. Uranus is the planet of innovation, and Saturn is anything which is traditional. So it's like reinventing the wheel, really, something which was used in the past, and now it's time to do a spinning on it. Saturn is the lord of time, a karmic planet. It is related to minorities and discrimination as well. And he was the last planet till 1781, when Uranus got discovered. And that's the reason why actually we start the outer planets list with Uranus, because somehow it talks about trying to break the boundaries. So it kind of belongs to Saturn a little bit, the last visible planet, but at the same time, obviously, it's pulling away from it as well. So this energy is going to be with us till 2022, as I said, with 5 squares, 3 this year and then 2 next. And well, Uranus has been in the sign of Taurus since 15th of May, 2018. And it has got a 7-year cycle, so it's going to be in Taurus till 25, 7th of July. And Saturn will be in the sign of Aquarius till March 2023. Both of them are fixed signs, and fixed is all about stability. So these two energies are somehow shaking up the stability of the individual as well as the world. The pivotal questions I think we're gonna have to ask ourselves is, what is truly mine? What is it I really value? Because it's going to be affecting anything which is tangible. So including the financials, the banking, matters related to the earth, agriculture, food industry, weather, stock raising. So for instance, I want to give you an example. If you know what symbol on cards are, then I think they are very useful astrologically. If you don't know them, then I really recommend to check them out. But in the symbol on cards, the Saturn in Aquarius is represented by a card where a fool is behind bars and being very sad. And I think this picture beautifully describes what is going on at the moment in the world. And Uranus in Taurus is depicted by 2 people saying goodbye to each other, and everyone is going on their own way with their little bags on their back, and one of them is going with a little trolley. So this shows, again, that something needs to say goodbye, and we need to be walking towards some new things. So I think this combination is a realization how many things we can actually do for ourselves rather than using certain services, for instance. So I think agriculture and stock raising is going to be very, very, very important in the upcoming years, probably in the next 2 decades. Most probably, we might not be experiencing every facet of the new upcoming events, because it's a slow process. So fixed signs tend to take their time, but definitely the security, the safety net is going to be on the forefront. Fixed signs are slow, and they don't want to change their mind. They tend to be holding on to things. So those people who are affected the most are Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. And the best advice I can give them is to have an open mind. I'm going to give a little bit later on some keywords, what I think you should be doing during the next couple of years. So as I said, looking at other questions, what do we really owe? Is it really important for me, or actually can I get rid of it? So this might be related to your principles and values, or this might be something tangible. So Uranus says, let's make space for something new to enter. From a psychological perspective, the question is, what is holding me back? And maybe you're going to be experiencing a tsunami, for instance, or I don't know, something tragical might happen to wake you up. And then you don't have to hold on to that things anymore. So before things like that happen, you're going to have to think about what's not serving my life anymore and break away from that. So overall, Uranus forces the old structure to renew, and the old structure is Saturn. I think it is all about new worldly order, but it comes with fear, the end of the world feeling. Unfortunately, some people will experience losses as well with this aspect. Most probably, as I said, we won't see the results immediately. It might take years or even decades, because obviously changes are a slow process. But what is it I need to keep, and what are of life I need to reinvent the wheel is going to be the very most important question of the following 2 years. So I would give us a couple of keywords to summarize. It could indicate intolerant behavior towards minority. So I believe that races and discrimination somehow is going to be on the forefront. There might be more accidents we're going to be hearing in the next few weeks. We can be very impatient, so don't be shocked about it. Probably just feel internally an energy which is changing within you. It could bring extreme weather conditions, and I already feel that. Yesterday it was plus 15 degrees in Hungary. Today actually it's -5. A friend of mine in Romania said the same. It's 10, 15 degree plus today, but yesterday it was -10 degrees. So, and that's very Uranian, right? Uranus is all about the extreme weather conditions, and Saturn is all about cold. So extremely cold, as well as extremely dry as well at the same time. I think some process will start, then slows down, and maybe will be replaced as well. So nothing is white or black, what we see at the moment. There is always going to be a little bit of a blind spot with any of the activities, what is going on at the moment. And don't be surprised if you are unable to focus, or something is always happening around you, a little bit of a buzziness happening around the individuals. This is not necessarily time when you really have to focus hard. And I would say this transit, which is going to start on the 17th of February, it's going to last till about the 3rd of March. So it's a good 2.5 weeks. So what could help you is being open to changes, creating awareness of things, and probably having a holistic approach to life, probably a universal way of thinking. So we need to start thinking about the collective. We need to be more spontaneous and more flexible. And probably, as I know, I might be hearing I might be reading a couple of comments that, oh, Victor, you're speaking stupid again, but you need to shrug it off your shoulder. You need to be a little bit humorous about whatever is going on in the world. And I know it's hard, but you need to have an accepting lifestyle, especially the fixed people out there. So Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo, you need to open up your channels a little bit. Or those people who have got plenty of planets in the 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 11th house, you might want to open up a little bit to new possibilities. I feel like we can even change things in a short space of time as well. So obviously Uranus is all about sudden events. So suddenly things can come up and you might need to be making decisions very quickly. Listen, Uranus transits are exciting. It gets us going and it makes us buzzed as well. So use that buzz for positive manifestation. Yes, you can be acting out. You can be acting in a weird way. So maybe you want to be cautious about that. And with Uranus, nothing is set in stone. So the next aspect of the week is going to be Sun moving into Pisces on the 18th of February. So, and Sun is the very first planet to leave the sign of Aquarius. So we have had a very heavy ride with Aquarian energy, and I'm wondering how you felt about the last 1 month. So please make a comment in the comment box. I'm curious. But the good news is that Sun was in a detrimental position, and now he is moving into a neutral one. So this is definitely an improvement. Pisces is a mutable energy, so the flexibility is still there. It's all about gaining knowledge and as much knowledge as possible. So with the Sun in Pisces, we are guided by altruistic feelings. We are less motivated to do than we are to feel. We want to be imagining things. We are dreaming about things. Emotionally, we can be a lot softer. We are a lot more considerate towards other people's feelings. And we might want to be spending more time on charitable or humanitarian causes. So on the following day, on the 19th, we are going to have a little bit of a tension going on, and that's going to be between Mars and Venus. Now, it's going to be tension for some and not so much for others. Venus is all about enjoyment and fun. Mars is all about passion. And these two are forming a square, which is a tension, which is a frustrating tug of war type of energy. So we can have our passion very heated, but we can have heated conversations or events between two people as well. Your sex drive could be extremely increased today and a couple of days behind and after, but you can also have a very competitive nature as well today. You might even have some heated conversations with the opposite sex. If you are single, it might be, again, about increased sexual desire. So actually, it's a perfect day to meet someone, a casual need. But if you feel that your relationship is stable, this aspect is nothing to worry about, as it is more about increased sexual tension. But of course, it can be, it can be dealt with if your relationship is working extremely well. If there are arguments in your relationship constantly, unfortunately, this could talk about a built-up anger or a built-up sexual frustration, which gets let out by one partner. So a little bit of a negativity of this aspect is the lack of self-control, as well as the lack of self-esteem. So we can feel today not loved, not being heard, not understood, not cared enough. And that might get, elevated to the next level, and then it just bombs your partner. So be careful about that. Some people might just want to agree with others, so then they can get away from situations. So that's the very much of the Venusian part, while Mars is pushing it. No, let's fix it. But it is a very good day to let the steam out by doing some sports, exercise, and most importantly, it's about getting to know your own body as well. So Mars and Venus together is very much of the aspect of masturbation. So, well, this is the week we are having ahead of us. I hope this video helped you to get ready. And if you do so, please share it with other people, press like, and also ring the notification bell. And I've also made a treat for you, which I'm going to be posting in the next few days. And it's going to be about how to interpret solar return charts with part 1. And some other parts will be coming later on to it. So thank you very much and have a blessed day, everyone. Bye-bye.